Okay, guys, here we're talking about our stride length. There's definitely some misconceptions about stride length and what stride length can do to maximize your velocity. Many people always just say, very simply, the longer you stride, the harder you'll throw. That's true to a certain point, but if you stride so far that you can't transfer that power, then you have yourself an issue. You'll wind up basically absorbing that power into the front leg. You won't be able to transfer it through the core and out the arm. So I'm going to stick here with Darvish and Verlander that I used before. And let's just take a look at their stride length. So Darvish does a nice job of straightening that front leg, keeping his momentum. I'll move the thing here so we can get a look at his stride length. So here's right when his foot lands. Generally, you want to stride somewhere about 75 to 85% of your height. And a good little trick to figure this out is if you actually lay down on the mound and put your feet at the front of the rubber and then mark a spot kind of like basically at your shoulders, your stride should be somewhere in that level. Now, some guys like a Chapman and a Lincecum, tremendously strong, flexible guys will stride longer than that. It's pretty well known both of those guys stride longer than their height, so they would stride past where their head is. Most of us that try to do that are going to be on the DL with a groin injury. Just to give you a reference of an angle here, I'm going to do a little line up the angle for Darvish. So I'm going to go angle from his back knee, groin, front knee. That is an angle of 143. Okay. The idea with the stride is to stride as long as you can and still have your hips be effective in their rotation. So, again, as a reference that you remember from the video, if my feet are together and I tried to punch, I would get absolutely nothing out of that punch. So the longer I take a step, the more I get in with my hips and I make a harder punch. But if I stride so far that I actually can't fire my hips, then I'll actually get less power into that punch. So, with the same way that there's an ideal length of stride to maximize the punch, there's an ideal length of stride to maximize your velocity. And probably the easiest cheating way, well, not cheating, but I guess using technology, get a radar gun and go fastballs and measure your velocity as you shorten and lengthen your stride length. So let's take a look at Verlander here. Again, he doesn't have that similar leg straightening at this point. It'll get slightly straight right there before it lands. Here's his stride length. Foot is completely down. If we go to our angle and we go knee, we got that knee up. Go knee, groin, front leg, 112. So his stride is significantly shorter than Darvish's. Different builds. Verlander's got legs that look like oak trees. And you'll see a couple of differences here in terms of through release. Verlander is definitely more upright at release. Darvish is definitely more out front at release, and that's based on their stride length. Are you going to tell me that one of them is better than the other, that it's better to be at 143? I'd take 112 if I could throw like Verlander, but again, 143 works for Darvish. So stride length isn't an absolute rule. It's what works for your body, for your build, for your style, for a variety of things. And it's all about hip rotation. So back to the videos on D1 pitching mechanics, you'll see a lot of drills that we talk about how to determine this and how to also maximize your hip rotation.